Hi there, and welcome to Ian's Engage channel. I'm Ian. In previous videos I've shared how I constructed new baseboards to expand Shelfington and how I intended to keep them level. In this video I'm going to go through how I joined the three baseboards together. I do have a question at the end and I'm looking for some advice, so please stick around and see if you can help me. Now, in order to join the three baseboards together, I first needed to transport the new baseboards to the train room. And this is where being able to remove the legs from the 6-foot baseboard was a godsend. You can see from my security camera footage that with the legs removed I could just about manage to carry the big baseboard to the train room, although the sheer size of the thing still made it awkward, especially when trying to manoeuvre it around doorways and up the stairs. So, there you go, my 6-foot by 2'6" baseboard had actually arrived in the train room. The next job was to attach two of the legs while the baseboard was leaning against the wall, which I managed with ease. Adding the remaining two legs proved to be a bit of a head scratcher though. As an aside, if you're going to do this sort of thing, make sure you number the legs and the corner of the baseboard they were attached to. This is because when the holes were drilled for the bolts, they'll be in a slightly different position for each leg, so each leg will only fit into its associated corner. Thankfully, I had legs number 1 and 4 remaining and empty spaces to fit them. After a bit of thought, I decided to lift the baseboard onto its end to gain access to the bolt heads to fit the remaining two legs. This made the process a whole lot easier. There wasn't much space to do things once in the train room, but from its upright position I mustered another fit of Herculean strength. As I swung the top legs towards the floor, I grabbed the baseboard in the middle and lifted it up, so acting like a pivot. Eventually, all of the legs came into the upright position and I could put the baseboard firmly on the floor. Thankfully, I didn't feel like I was going to have a heart attack this time. Haha. By comparison, the 3-foot baseboard was a doddle to move, even with the legs attached. Next, I organised the baseboards into their rough positions. This was a lot easier than anticipated, as the plastic levelling feet I'd added to the legs simply glided over the surface of the carpet. It was actually like the baseboards were on wheels. Well, not exactly wheels, but you know what I mean. Next, I set about levelling each of the baseboards. This was easy with the leg levellers I'd fitted, although with 12 legs capable of adjustment, it was a bit time consuming and not great for my knees, so I spent quite a lot of time toing and froing above and below the baseboards. The final task was to join the baseboards together, and I'd pondered long and hard about how I was going to do this. Should I use wooden dowels, metal dowels, bolts, metal plates, plastic blocks, screws, or a combination of methods, or something completely different? Just to be clear, despite having 3 separate baseboards, I was not building a modular system. I intended to lay XPS foam across the baseboards once levelled, so did I even need to join the baseboards together at this point? After all, once the foam was glued across the joints, the baseboards would be impossible to move anyway. In the end, I decided to bolt all of the baseboards together using M8 bolts and wing nuts. Bolting was my preferred choice, as I could easily loosen the wing nuts to allow a little freedom of movement until the foam was glued down. I think this was the best decision, but would love to hear your thoughts. How would you have approached this? What would you have done differently? Obviously, if I had my time again, I'd have only had one baseboard, but to use a Charlie from Chadwick saying, we are where we are. Okay, so that's about it for this update. If you've got any hints, tips, useful tools or techniques to pass on to a beginner in Engage modelling, or if you simply want to say hello, then please do so in the comment section. Anything and everything you've got to say will be greatly appreciated. In the meantime, thanks very much for watching. Hopefully I'll have another update soon. Bye.